So, for around about a year or more, I came across a bit of a community that does solo role-playing games like D&D, Basic Fantasy, Cairn, Whitebox. And then I got curious. I said, well, is that even really possible? And how exactly does that work? And the more I dived into it, the more I began to enjoy it. And it's really, how do I say, scratches that itch whenever you can't get together with your normal D&D group, or if you don't really have anybody around that plays the game but you want to really try it. This is a really good way to get into it. I'm pretty much just going to go over the three or four things that you really need to be able to get into it. First thing is you're going to need the rule set. You're going to have to choose a rule set. It could be Basic Fantasy that I've chosen as of lately, or I've also done just your normal D&D 5th edition because the adaptability of it is extremely good. There's just about anything and everything you could do with this, or you could use the 2024, or what I like to call 5.5 rule set. So recommend you just pick a set that, or a rule set in game that you know really well or have a really big interest in wanting to do it. So I guess first you really need that, and then you're gonna need some of these dice. That's gonna be what decides your roles for obviously your character, but the game and creating the world around you. Which kind of comes to the very first thing, to be able to create like NPCs in the world around you. The first thing you could do is random tables, which is just random generation. You can use, like, let me see, where did I put it? Yeah, like right here. So I've been using Tables and Fables a good bit, by Madeline Hale. You can get this and the second one on Amazon for fairly cheap, and it just comes with pack loads of content that you could do. So for example, like after you say you get your character going, you can come in here and figure out the race, gender of like any NPC. You can figure out little details, backgrounds. Let's see what else. You can even have random loot and armor and stuff like that. One thing I do recommend highly, I don't have a physical copy of it, but if you can get a hold of the tome of adventure design, that is like the go-to. There is an incredible amount of tables in there to where that's literally all you need. One that I also like to use is these. You can also get these on Amazon. Game Master books of astonishing random tables. This has been extremely useful. So let's see. Let's say you want to build like a pantheon, a planet, the realm, forms of government, business, local, random encounters, side quests, name it, it is in there. So let's say we got a character. We're just gonna world build really quick the planet. So continental configurations. So we're gonna roll a d8 for this. 4. It has 4 continents. The environments, so this continent, so you could say one of those continents is, we'll roll another d8, a 3, which is a mountainous region. And it even has tables for each of these regions: jungle, mountains, desert. And we'll roll a d20 to see where that is. A 7. Okay. All right. An altar of jet black stone concealed in a hidden valley, used to make sacrifices to dark gods. And then you could just build off of that with either random tables or things that you could just think of off of the top of your head. Another thing you could probably use other than these tables are random books. So let's say you got Lord of the Rings right here, and you need, let's say, an NPC name, right? You go in here, find the first name, Isildur, or you could pick Minus. There we go, Minus. So we're in the mountains. There's a dark altar for dark gods, and we come across the guy named Minus. So that's just kind of like one way you can go about building all around your world generation. And just NPCs, items, whatever you could think of off the top of your head that's going to make you think and use your imagination, pretty much. Next comes the restrictive aspect of it, which is oracles. This is one that I just kind of made after finding some online. I have a couple here, one that uses the D6 and the other that uses the D100. I definitely prefer the one with the D100. Makes it a little bit easier. You can ask a lot more in depth, and you don't have to think of ands and buts a whole lot unless you want to. So let's say you're in the mountain, and is there anybody else with Minus? And then you can go on here and choose the likelihood of that question and then roll for it. So I'm gonna say that's a 50-50. Where did it go? So that's a 96. So no, it is just you and him. Does he have any weapons on him? I'm gonna also say that's a 50-50. He does. So we'll say that he probably just has a sword or a longbow or whatever is on his person. And then you could just really build off more and more and more with that to leave it up to your imagination. This is more so just stuff to be able to unlock the picture in your head once you start seeing it. But yeah, that's one other way. Another way I haven't really used but have been thinking about it a lot lately is subjective, like I think it's called subjective generation, where you can take, like, say, like these magic cards, right? Let's say you just randomly pull this guy right here, and then you go off of whatever you think is in the image that could fit this scene. Like, okay, we're in the mountains, there's the altar with Minos, and we got a giant dragon that's guarding it. Or you could say you got goblins around that serve the dragon, you know, just that kind of stuff. Anything that is going to help you think of shit to come up with, pretty much. That's pretty much the sum of it. But yeah, you want the rule set of the game that you're going to use 100%. You are going to want an oracle to be able to restrict the things. You're going to want random generation, whether it be a book or random tables of the sort, anything. Let's see what else. And then obviously the dice. Those are going to be what you are going to be looking for most of this time. And there's really, well, you can use all that stuff at the end of the day. Just like everything in the player handbook or DM's guide for D&D, all of it's just a suggestion. I mean, you could literally get dice and a piece of paper, make up your way of writing a character, and then go off of just your imagination with the dice. There is no right or wrong way to be able to play solo role playing. It is just the limit of your imagination, but you do want to have something that does restrict you, and you need a rule set, in my opinion. It's whether it's something straight from a book or something that you create off of the bat in your own head. That way it keeps the game fresh and everything. So, but if you're ever stuck with not really sure what things to get, I would say just start off with the basic fantasy role-playing game. It is completely free. There's a big community behind it, where they put out a bunch of supplements and everything that you could use. That, and it's very reminiscent of old school D&D, so they're really, rules wise, it's not, how do I say, very complex, and a lot of people use this specifically for solo gameplay. There's a lot more out there, such as like Shadow Dark, which is a big one that people have been using lately. Knave 2nd edition, you could do that as well. I haven't tried anything with those yet, so yep, you could always do those, or just if you have D&D books, that works just as well. And that is about it. So dice, rules, oracles, and the imagination. That is literally it. That is all. Alright, thank you all for watching. I know I sound a little bit fucking awkward in this video. I am so tired, I'm not gonna lie. I've been up since around 4 o'clock, and it is now 2 p.m, so I feel extremely tired. But yeah, if this video comes across and is of any help to you, let me know down in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe. I will probably show off gameplay at a later time, as well as character creation. But yeah, for now, this is just going to be kind of an, I guess, introductory to solo role playing and the things that you probably should look for in getting. But anyways, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.